different winners in the last 5 Nashville Superspeedway races. It's next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern on ESPN2, and we hope to see you there. In fact, I did talk to Kyle Busch. Remember, he slammed it last year after winning the race, and he says, no, I want to win it this year, and I want to keep it all in one piece. So we'll find out what happens next Saturday. Right now, let's clear it up. It was Rafa, or I should say Roman Cini, getting the wave around, and unfortunately, Vitor misunderstood. As we go back to green flag racing, he gets back into line. He's the race leader with Rafa Matos second, Dario Franchitti third, Ryan Briscoe fourth. Remember, these guys are all on different strategies now.
You saw a move with Hideki Muto just almost trying to get back past the BMW car of Alex Tagliani, but he couldn't get it done. Remember, the tires are still going to be just a little bit cold, and is he going to try it now?
Yeah, Hideki Muto's going right underneath Tagliani. He's going to take over that 5th position. That's Mario Moraes in the 32, and there is Scott Dixon, who's led the most laps here, with Graham Rahal right behind him.
Now, these guys up front didn't pit. They pitted earlier, so a little bit different race strategy that they're calculating right now. Have to wait to see what happens here in the future with the way the yellows fall. And as we go around this racetrack, you can see a lot of the banners are starting to come off the wall, especially there on the exit of 9. I have noticed as we ride along with Castor Neves, and he squeezes his way through past Rahal, and that costs Rahal another spot also, as Will Power takes advantage of that.
What a brilliant pass. Very, very gutsy by both those guys, and Graham Rahal gave him enough room as he drops 2 positions. And there you see our race leader, Vitor Meira. Second place, Rafa Matos, Dario Franchitti now running in 3rd. There's Dixon sticking his nose out, trying to take a look underneath, and he gets chopped, and he loses the wing.
Oh, Moraes cuts across the front of the bow and breaks the wing on Scott Dixon's car. So does that mean another problem for Dixon?
And Moraes has a flat, and now Dixon can't see. There's no way he can see right now with the way that end plate has come up. He can look out the right side of the car, but boy, turning left right now, that's got to be just awful.
Well, it's also a bit of feel. You know exactly where you've been around this racetrack for the last couple of days, and a veteran and a champion like Scott Dixon will not make a mistake on the in-lap here, but certainly he's radioed in saying, I will need a new front wing.
And we can tell you Moraes suffered a cut tire in this incident, so he is slow on the racetrack as well. That's Will Power going underneath Dixon. Boy, Dixon had led a total of 21 laps, and this was one of those races he was pinpointing in the championship chase. Let's go back and take another look.
Now, you might question who's in the right and who's in the wrong here, but is Dixon far enough along? Maybe not. Could Moraes have given him more space? Absolutely. They could have got through there. Your next turn is a left-hand turn, and I would say that Moraes could have continued to keep the place there without taking the nose off of Dixon.
And Dixon has pulled in, and so has Tony Kanaan. So Kanaan has come into pit lane. The nose is coming off.
They will refuel the car, put a fresh load of fuel on it. Probably a little longer here than sometimes it takes, but...
And Tony is getting a wing, and we did not see what happened to him. And Marco Andretti is in as well. So some very quick early pit stops here.
Well, Marco may have run over some debris, and maybe that's why he's come in and changed some tires.
Rick DeBrule, what can you tell us?
That is exactly the case. He ran over something. As a result, got a flat. They came in, changed tires, put him back out as quickly as they could.
And right after the incident with Scott Dixon, Tony Kanaan yelled, my wing is broken. I have no front wing. So he came in, as you saw, replaced it, Vince.
Well, it's Scott Dixon. It's bad luck for Dixon again. Remember last year he had one of the better cars in the race, but Will Power came into a pit stop and parked in Dixon's box. That was the issue that dropped him back in the field in a 16th place finish. Now here's Vitor Meira, who is the leader of the race. Remember, he's on a different pit strategy than the rest. They're going to go back and stick with the blacks. That means he's still going to have to run the reds at some point today. But a clean stop for Vitor Meira, the ABC supply car for A.J. Foyt.
That is his first pit stop. He made it a total of 34 laps and now gets back onto the racetrack. And boy, the complexion of this race, how quickly it has changed for so many of the competitors. And there is your new race leader, our 5th different leader, as Rafa Matos is out in front.
And directly behind him in the Cottonelle machine, Dario Franchitti, who had his own excitement at the very beginning of the race.
Now remember, Matos and Franchitti both pitted on lap number 2 in that first caution. So it's a question of how much farther they can go before they will have to, again, come to pit lane. Boy, Franchitti took a look inside, couldn't get it done.
Yeah, just not close enough, but he's actually just giving Mato, and Rafa just sends it sideways a little bit because he knows, because Dario's been filling his mirrors, he knows that Dario's a little bit quicker than him. Get the car just a little bit sideways.
We can tell you that Vitor Mir comes back out on the track after leading in 17th position for all you AJ Foyt fans, as this battle up front continues. Scott Dixon will also be able to tell you is now running in 18th position.
Now, as you mentioned, with these two cars being on different strategy, they're going to try and run as strong as possible, maybe trying to conserve just a little bit of fuel so they can make this run as long as possible. See if they can get this done.
Now remember, they do have an overtake position that they can push to pass. See if Dario's going to use it here. It'll go green if he decides to step on the button. You can see that each of them have used it. One twice, the other 3 times. You get 20 of these 12-second overtakes.
Yeah, Dario's not getting out of turns 13 and 14 strong enough, Marty, to be able to get close enough to be able to use that.
We're hearing that Rafa Matos will be heading for pit lane this lap. He led 2 laps at Long Beach last year. That's the only time before today that he led. Look at this freight train coming through turns 2 and 3. That's Elio Castroneves. You're saying, how can I tell the Penske cars apart? Elio's got the orange mirrors and the orange wing plates. Will Power has got the black mirrors, black wing plates. And the white is for Ryan Briscoe. And there is the difference between the 3.
And with this race course, if you're faster, for instance, if you're Mike Conway, that's at the back of this train right now, it's very difficult to be able to get past cars. Only about 3 opportunities to pass here every lap, and that's going down into turn 1, and then we see some action going down to turn 4, and occasionally in turn 10 where we just came out of. But to get a pass done going down into turn 1, you have to come out of 13 and 14 really, really strong. You take advantage of a draft, and we're going to watch some of this here now.
And Rafa Matos is into pit lane. Vince?
Remember, Matos had the outstanding run at Brazil in which he finished 4th, but they have struggled all weekend long trying to find the right grip on this car to make him comfortable. They started out on the black tires, but now they've gone to the softer compound and the reds. They're still waiting to finish the fuel load, and they've got it in a way. Goes Rafa Matos.
And that means the lead now hands over to Dario Franchitti, our 6th different leader today, with our 5th lead change. And well, we may have had to wait 24 hours, but what an incredible race that has unfolded, as there is Dario. Remember, he is due for a pit stop, and now in 2nd place is Ryan Briscoe with Hideki Muto shown in 3rd. There goes Briscoe, and a little bit further back will be Hideki. Now remember, Briscoe last pitted on lap number 12, so he can go a lot further, and the 06 pitted on lap 19, so he's even got a bigger window. And then further back, you got 4th place, as you see that battle. And here's the freight train on back with Tagliani in 5th in that 77. Then Will Power, Justin Wilson, Ryan Hunter-Reay, and look on the inside. Conway's taking a look underneath Vizo. Can he get it done? Yes.
And that was the opportunity we talked about, coming down the main straightaway here at this airport circuit, and probably uses the power assist button to be able to get that deal done.
Nose to tail racing in the IZOD IndyCar series. This has been very entertaining. We hope you are enjoying it. There's Tagliani in that 77. He will be in that car full time this year. And in the back of the screen, there is Danica Patrick. She has moved her way up to 14th now as we go on board.
What she needs to do is to drive hard enough to get herself right to the tail end of that group, so some things start to happen, she can take advantage of it. Usually when you're running nose to tail like that group is up front, as we can see the battle coming down the front stretch now, going into 1 at 160 miles an hour, usually the group runs a little slower than you can individually when you're running from the back.
Well, and the reason this freight train is sort of being held up, that's Mario Marias in front. He is a lap down in 21st position. I guarantee you Tagliani's all over the radio saying, tell this guy to get out of the way. but he is not giving away. And you can see about 6 or 7 cars right behind him as Conway's trying to find a way to get around Graham Rahal at the very back of this run. That's through turns 8.